Hey everyone, in this video we're going to take a look at all the ROG X MIKU HATSUNE edition collaboration items that are coming to North America. The version I'm covering is the one that's going to be released globally, okay, not the version that's exclusive to China. The version that's exclusive to China is going to be very different. They have more items, and I'll quickly give a brief overview of those Chinese versions and their stuff as I go across every single one of them. At the end of the video, I also show you the exclusive ones to China. So in the event you want to purchase them from Taobao or something like that and you want to get it over here, there are some things that are only available with the Chinese versions, okay? Which is kind of a shame. So I've always had told Asus North America that, you know, in North America, we're large enough of a market that we can have some of our own stuff and some of our own exclusive stuff, right? So if you feel that's something you would like as well, definitely, you know, let them know on social media that it would be nice if we have some exclusives for North America. Okay, so with that said, let's get started. We're going to first take a look at this Ryuo 4, and then we'll move on to the other products, and the final would be the case. Okay, so with that said, let's begin. All right, so now this is going to be a little bit different than the regular Ryuo 4. And quick disclaimer again, all the items I'm showing you here are sent to me from Asus. All right, this one actually came directly from Asus Taiwan. Okay, so I may not have the packaging for all the items that you would get when you purchase it. For example, the power supply I'm going to show you, I don't even have the box. Okay, so right away with the sleeve off, it says Miku for those who dare, ROG collaboration Miku. So you can see that the packaging is going to be slightly different for these versions, which is nice to see. Because, for example, when I opened the Doom, I said I didn't like how the box was the same as the regular Astral. Okay, so that said, let's open this up. And right away, you'll see something very interesting. Instead of the regular ROG membership card, we have the Chinese ROG, right? So I'm thinking the packaging here may be the same as the Chinese variant, because she definitely doesn't belong here for North America, because most North American people look at her and be like, who's that? Right? So there's definitely something going on here. Okay. Now, this is not how it's packaged retail when you buy it. Okay. This was already open when I got it. So keep in mind, it's not going to be as tidy. Okay. So let's just quickly take this out. And you'll see here we have the screen package like the regular Ryuo 4. Okay. Now this screen portion does have some custom elements to it. You'll see it says the Miku inside. It's embedded inside the standard. Instead of the standard just ROG stuff that's in there, you get the Miku stuff in there, right? This is a curved screen. For those of you who don't know, the Ryuo 4 is a curved screen. All right. And on the bottom, it's going to be the same as the regular stuff. And so it is on the side. Okay. So the custom part is up here. All right. So moving on to the rest of the AIO, right away, you'll notice that this is very unique compared to the regular Ryuo, because the regular Ryuo doesn't have this type of hose. It actually is connected in the middle. Okay. And I'll go into that in a second here. Now, for those of you not aware, I did make a video on the regular Ryuo 4 that I purchased from Taipei, okay, a couple months ago. And in here you have, so if you want to watch that video, I'll cover the standard Ryuo 4 in that video. You have the same mounting hardware. Nothing's changed here. It would have been nice to have kind of a different color bracket, right? Something a little more Miku-ish color-wise, but that's okay. So, taking the AIO out, this is the actual AIO portion, right? See, it says ROG on the bottom, really nice. And this is actually color matched, of course, to the rest of the components. Just as a little preview, then we pull in the GPU, you'll see that it's color matched perfectly, okay? So, moving on, let's pull this out. So, as I pull this out, you'll see the fans are pre-installed. So this is a little bit different than the regular Ryuo 4, as I was saying. The Ryuo 4 does have the fans pre-installed as well, but is a wider radiator. Okay, so the Ryuo 4 has what they call a back connect system, and this one does not. Sorry guys, excuse the mess here. Okay, so moving that all to the side, you'll see here, let's first cover the radiator. You're going to have custom colored grommets, right? And on here we have the 01 and pink and fuchsia, and you'll see this kind of pink fuchsia with the green teal-ish across all the items. All right, and here we have the custom fans. They are RGB on the side. You know, they'll say Miku on it, right? And they'll also have the notes. These parts will light up when you have the system on. Same goes for the side over here. The only really Ryuo 4 part of this whole situation is this mounting bracket for the LCD. Okay. On the regular Ryu 4, the radiator actually is much thicker, and the mounting holes, in terms of width, the mounting holes are going to be the same, but it's moved out a little bit because the end tank where this plugs into is actually going to be on the side, and there's a very short straight run down on the standard Ryu 4. We don't have that for this one. Okay, so the HATSUNE Miku edition is going to be a little different than the regular Ryu 4 in that regard. You have the long sleeved. They can, I guess, technically makes it more case compatible, because on the standard Ryu 4, it kind of relies that you have mounting holes more than just 360. Like, it's going to be more than just 360 in terms of 120 width. I don't know how to describe that without having it in my hand at the moment. I don't. But if you guys look online at the instructions, you'll see what I mean. So, of course, this, once you have it all set up, just clips in like this, and that's how you have the screen. Now, on the side here, you will have the Miku graphic, right, with her. This pose is going to be across everything, and you'll notice that very soon. Now, right away, I'm going to tell you guys, if you've seen the Chinese version, it's different. It has ROG on it as well. The girl that was on the box when we opened this AIO, she's also going to be here on the Chinese version. And that's something that tech press, when they post photos, they always get confused, and they often don't understand that Asus China is very different than the rest of the world. So the next part up is going to be the power supply. For those of you not aware, this is essentially a Thor 3. This is a Thor 3 1200 watt. That's been themed to look like the Miku. And we'll quickly go over it real quick. So instead of the standard black, silver, unfortunately, I only have one Thor 3 at the moment, and I'm using it, so I can't really pull it out. But so instead of the silver, we have the teal green, and you'll see that if I bring this in, it actually matches pretty well, right? So we have that. And aside from having the 01 on the side here, you'll notice on the rear here, they've also actually, it has, instead of having the white outline, it's been outlined in pink that says Miku. Right, these are just small touches. This, as with the GPU, was just a sample. Right, so I don't have the retail packaging. This is not a retail unit. Okay, so now if we pull this down here, the cover itself for the non-LCD side. For those of you not aware, on the Thor 3, you can remove the LCD, the OLED, and put it on either side of the power supply. So depending on your orientation inside your case, right? Some people have the fan facing down. Some people have this fan facing up, right? So either way, you have an LCD, an OLED screen that tells you the power, right? Now, so if you look at under the OLED, even here, they've kind of correlated the ROG, but instead of having it in white, they have it in pink. Right, and you'll see on this side, you have the nice pixelated musical looking ROG. On the other side, you have these traditional ROG that lights up, as well as the overall outline that says, Republic of Gamers, HATSUNE Miku, and you have the character change error. It's some kind of just technical theming of it. But overall, you can see, they put the effort in, right? For mass, I have to say, so far for kind of somewhat mass-produced themed item, it's pretty nice, right? The amount of small details they've put, even for example, the cables that come with it. For those curious, these are, I don't remember what OEM this is, but I don't think that, I think the 1200 Sonic, don't quote me on it. Okay, but with the cables, you also get colored matched cables, right? So this is a 24 pin, and this is a 16 pin. Now, unfortunately, in the bag that I received, I just received the box and the PSU with a bag. Okay, so unfortunately here, I don't see I don't see the CPU EPS being color themed. Now, I don't know if that's because that's the final product, or I just got a bag for Thor 3, and because these were not in the bag, like there was a separate bag with these cables. So I don't know if the EPS is color themed or not. I would hope it is. Obviously, once it goes on sale and is available, you guys will be able to find out. But yes, from what I can see so far, this is what I got. So I'll just let you guys know on that part. Now, for those of you curious, I've noticed to be happening this more than once now, is I don't have the RGB connector in this bag either. This is the same as the Thor ones, and I think the Strix Auras, so you can reuse those. You can buy these on eBay. For some reason, I don't have one in this bag, because I was saying this because on my 1600 watt Thor 3 unit from Taiwan that I purchased at retail, I also didn't have one of these. Okay. But with that said, let's move on to the next part. The next part we're going to take a look at is the GPU. This is obviously something that most of you guys would be very interested in looking at. Perhaps you might not buy the entire collection, but you might just buy this. All right, now this is going to be the RTX 5080. Unfortunately, there's going to be no 90. Reason being is, I don't know. It might just be too expensive. I mean, the Doom only came on at 80, so it is what it is. But you get a very nice graphical box. And on the back, the bottom is going to be the same. It's going to say the Miku edition. And this is, I believe, I haven't opened it yet, but I believe this is going to be the US version, obviously. This did come from Asus North America. I don't know when this is going on sale. Price-wise, it is going to be the same as the gold version, which is 1900, I believe, or 1850 to 1900, something in that range. I know some folks right away are going to go, oh my goodness, that price is high. Yes, the price is high. But like I said, this is not a high run product either. And there is a collector thing to it, in that regard. So that often does play into pricing a little bit. I'm not saying that it can't be lower in price. I'm just saying it is what it is. All right. So on the back, you get a nice graphic of Miku. So you do get a nice, I would say there's more to this box than on the Doom one, which I was not too happy about, to be honest with you guys. So I'm just going to open this as gently as I can because I want to keep the box in nice condition. I did have, Asus did also send me a non-retail packaged unit. I think this is retail. I did get one that was for the one from Gamescom. And that one, I didn't notice anything different with that one. So that one did have some issues. So they sent another. So let's take a look here. Now, on the box, right away, you'll notice it says ROG/Miku. We get the nice box. Once again, this is more than what I got with the Doom. The Doom, I just got the standard black Asus box. So I like that there's more effort here. Okay? So coming in, we get the nice 01 ROG. See, this is already much better than the Doom. All right? So in the Doom, I had missed some of the special stuff from the box. So I want to open that here for you guys. While it's still here. I'm going to be very careful not to break the box. This is a little bit fragile. The paper folds. Inside here, you have your standard booklets. And let's see here. We have a Miku card. Now, this card is a little bit different in every single product, I've noticed. And then we have the graphics card holder description and the thank you card, the warranty booklet, quick start guide. Yeah, none of this is really, outside of the Miku card alone, none of this is, anything different than the other Astrals, but it's nice to see. All right, so let's see. I anticipate there being a ruler, of which there is. Right, these rulers. I remember on the 30, the rulers are getting bigger, right? On the 30 series, it had a smaller ruler, and then now we have a bigger ruler on the 40 series. And, I want to show you guys something real quick. Completely unrelated. This is going to be a long video. There's even an even larger ruler. All right. So, yeah. And then we have the adapter in the box, which strangely enough is not on the side. It's in here. And then you have your, is this a, I think it's a magnet, right? I think so. So the same, small little mini Astral that you get with the regular Astrals. And you get a Velcro that is Mitsu specific. So those are what's in the box here. All right. So I'm going to move this stuff to the side. All right. So moving on to the primary. Okay. Now, here we have the GPU itself. Oh, wow. That's cool. Wow. That is really cool. That's why that GPU thing wasn't here. Usually that GPU adapter is right here. This is the... it's technically in English it's a leak. She has a leak. I don't know the whole thing about it, but it's cool that they made GPU holder a leak and it says ROG X MIKU. That's super cool. Yeah, and it's it's soft rubber on the top, so it's not going to damage your GPU. But that is a nice touch, guys. That is a nice touch. I did not expect that. Because I was saying earlier, the one they originally shipped me was one from Gamescom, and I just got the GPU. I had no idea what was in it. And I was hoping for a boxed version so I could show you guys everything that's in the box. But yeah, that is cool. So, that said, all right, let's move the box aside. and we'll take a look at this. This I did post on a couple photos before when I was at Asus HQ. That you guys can take a look at this now for yourselves. All right. Oh, she is a beauty. All right, guys. So rather than continually struggle with all the stickers, I'm just going to show you guys the other one. All right. So on the back, we have the custom Miku, right, graphic. Again, this graphic is on all the components. It's going to be pretty much the same kind of somewhat graphic, with slight variance across all the parts. But on the Chinese version, which I'll bring up right now, and I'll put a photo up, it has ROG on this side. It doesn't say HATSUNE Miku. It actually has the other character, right? But on the US version and global versions, we don't have that. All right. And additionally, on the side here, you'll notice you have the silhouette of Miku 01 on the fan sticker. And you will notice these. There's even small things like the game mode, right? It's pink. Fuchsia pink, and then you have the heartbeats on the side along the edges, and the fan, even though it's plastic, it does color match pretty well. And if we look at the top, you have the GeForce RTX with the ROG XX Miku, and then a little Miku Chibi, right? And you have a kind of a greenish acrylic with the slight pink strip underneath, which is really nicely done. And then on the front, right? So no matter how you mount this thing, whether you want to mount it like this, look down on your case and see the character, or you want to mount it, vertical like this, I think either way, you're going to have something that's very visually appealing. Even if you don't like the Miku series, the color choices are really, really nice. All right. So here we go with the fans. See on the front, you get the pink ROG fan sticker instead with the hearts. I don't know how well it's coming on camera, but there are hearts and notes on there, right? And you have her silhouette repeat again. And you have the same kind of acrylic. This is actually the longitudinal coordinates. I mean, these are the GPS coordinates essentially for Asus HQ, right? And then you have the same thing coming around again as you did on the rear. And even here on this, what used to be just Asus ROG, you have a little heart there as well. And you'll notice that even on the portions over here, you'll see that they have kind of a lasered on some designs, right? And you also have the design continue here, kind of like a volume dial. I'm guessing that's what it would be, right? And on the bottom, standard stuff. So this is otherwise just a standard 5080 Astral, right? But when you put it in GPU tweak, these special editions, whether it be the core, the things about I forgot the name, but the core, the gold one, the Doom or whatever it may be. You put those in, you're going to get a special kind of UI and GPU tweak, which I'll show you guys when the whole system is up, right? That's good attention to detail, right? And I'll just show you guys a regular Astral, okay? So here is a regular 5080 Black Astral. Now, you'll notice that, it's attractive, it's simple, but you can see they've definitely, these details around here. This is not I don't even know. I don't, it looks like a decal vinyl, but at the same time, it doesn't look like it's just would peel off, right? So things like changing the acrylic here to this kind of shade, right? And you can see the changes here. The custom fan stickers are just whatever's, but you see they even added things like for those who dare with the musical notes, right? So a lot of small touches, like I was seeing over here with the laser laser etching, and looking at the bottom, not much different. But again, looking at the top, you're going to see that, it's quite different, right? You don't have the raw guy anymore. You have the Miku here. And this, rather than just a regular reflective mirror acrylic strip, you're going to have the little pink decal, as we mentioned earlier. And on the back, the standard Astral is just very clean and exquisite. You just have the regular Astral here. And on this one, obviously, it's a lot more fancier. So, whether or not price set aside, I think they did a good job. I like the way the card looks a lot. I kind of wish, they did a little, it's a nice looking card. Okay. So no complaints there. I personally would wish that it was a 5090, but unfortunately that's not the case. And it is what it is. So let's move on. So the next item up is going to be the X870E ROG Strix gaming Wi-Fi 7 -H. This -H essentially replaces the -F. That used to be a thing. They did release the non-Miku edition -H recently. Okay. But this one is, this one actually went on pre-order on Newegg probably about 3 weeks ago. For those of you that pre-ordered it, should probably release, I think, this week, if not next week. All right. But with that said, I already took the board out. This is, once again, these are not final retail units. All right. So it might be a little different in terms of the initial packaging. Right. But if we open this here, we'll see that I'm taking the board out. But for those of you not familiar with the board, you get an expansion USB expansion card and a Wi-Fi antenna in this part. But I'll move that to the side because that's going to be the standard Dash H stuff. In here, you will find that, you get all your accessories in a nice little bag. But you also get a Miku card, right? A Miku membership card instead of the standard membership card. And you also get a Miku themed instruction booklet instead of the regular instruction booklet. Inside, you get some nice art graphics. And you get a little Miku instead of the Omni. Okay, so you get these little changes in here. And even things like the little boxes here, it's green instead of the regular black. And you get a little Miku notebook pad on the rear. And so these are nice small touches, right? They didn't have to do these kind of small things. But given the premium on this board, I think it's like 100 something, or maybe close to 200. I'm not too sure. You would appreciate these things. I actually did buy one of these on Newegg myself. So, it is nice that they did give you like some stuff, right? Get a sticker, and you get this custom cell phone stand, right? That you can assemble. That's Miku themed. So there are, there are things in here. Now, for those of you, I already know, I can see in the comments now that, for the markup or whatever it may be, we should get more. Yes, but guys, you have to keep in mind, these are not like mass produced. They're not going to be produced as many as the regular Strix boards. So, any changes to a small run of things are going to be a lot more expensive than if you mass produce them nonstop. Right. For the 4090 EVAs, the 4090 EVA 02, not 4090, the EVA 02 collab, the boards is actually what they made the most of. So this might be the easiest part to get, right? It's already on sale. The case and so forth have not been. Okay. So looking at the board itself, we get the nice graphic of Miku. This is going to light up ROG. When I show you guys the final build, you will see all of it. With that said, you'll get a themed heatsink for the NVMe, right? So we'll take a look. It's got the musical notes, got the ROG here. And on top, we have the ROG Miku in the pink, right? And on the side here, we also have this custom part. Okay, right? This is all printed on. So we have Miku. You notice, like I was saying earlier on the back of the GPU, she's going to have this pose on all of it, right? You'll notice it's not exactly identical, but it's pretty close to the same, right? The hair tone is a little bit different, right? But it's pretty much the same. Now, what else? So if we flip it, you see, even the CPU cover has a little ROG Miku thing. These are things I do appreciate, and I think most of the people who, are a fan of Miku are going to appreciate, right? So you have the ROG on the back with little icons. So having owned the EVO 01, EVO 02, the Gundam stuff, I can tell you there's a lot more small details in this collab than the previous. Right on the back, we have some Miku printed again, right? So these small things. And obviously, once you load into the BIOS, which I haven't done yet, I would assume there's going to be a Miku graphic just like on the EVA, right? Now, final note. For the Chinese version, you also have ROG on the board. And she will be like right here along with her. I'll put a photo of it up. So if you get the board and you go, hey, this doesn't look like what I've seen online, keep in mind again, the Chinese version is different. But when the press puts that out there, they don't specify that it's the Chinese variant. Okay? So keep that in mind. Also, one more thing, you get the nice little pink, I don't know if that's her, it's like her silhouette in the ROG eye rather than just having the regular ROG eye. And that pretty much covers the board. Oh, a little bit more detailing around the corners here. Okay. So overall, it matches really well. Like the GPU's right here. Right. So if I had the GPU on here like this, or the GPU in front of it, I'm just going to scoot this up a little bit. I have the GPU in front of it. It all matches really nicely. Okay. So with that said, the final item is going to be the case. So let's take a look at the case. So this is actually going to be the case. This is the refreshed Helios. So this is the Helios 2. For those of you wondering what are the difference between Helios 1 and Helios 2, I can tell you in short, not much. The primary thing being the front being vented. This was a piece of glass in the front before with the gap. And now technically that was enough, but people like to stir up drama. So they decided that, let's give them the vented panel and, take that as an improvement. Now, will improve, obviously, does improve by a lot. I can't really tell you, but I don't anticipate it to be much. This clear acrylic piece that Miku is not on the standard Helios 2. Okay, so this is exclusive to the Miku edition, right? So she's actually printed on the inside of this acrylic layer, so you're not going to be able to scratch it all off by rubbing against it or accidentally hitting it in front. There's also the Miku text on the side. That pink, the pink bracketing you see, that is also exclusive on the white and black Helios 2, which I will do a video of separately. I have both of those cases. These design elements are not on it. Of course, obviously the pink, that's also part of the case, right? The teal and pink. The standard Helios black and white are not two-toned in any way. They just come solid because of that color. All right. And there's also 2 tabs on the side as for design. I'm not too sure what that alludes to, but that is part of this case. As you've seen in the B-roll, on the top, you get some custom Miku straps. I'll try to put a little bit of that in here so you guys can see it. But also on the top, we do get some custom buttons and some little effects, which I will show you guys in a second. Looking on the top of the case, you'll see that you do get some custom ROG X MIKU designs, right, on the front. And on the back, you get a Miku chibi. And you'll notice on the power button, it's pink and it has a little heart that lights up in the middle. Obviously, there are LEDs under this panel that lights up the heart. So you can see this is a little custom thing as well. And I was saying before, the pink is exclusive to this case. So let's look at the back of the case. This should be familiar to most Helios 1 owners, right? You do get a wire cover. And if I scoot to the side, you're going to see some wire management cable strips. These strips are going to say ROG X MIKU on them. If I zoom in, you can see that. I think the smaller set is actually exclusive to the Helios 2. I don't remember off the top of my head because I haven't seen my Helios 1 in years. But for the video where I do the comparison of the two, I will bring it out of storage and we'll go into it. I actually do think they'd improve that fan controller at the top, the RGB fan hub controller. That's in the top corner here. I believe that has improved, but like I said, until I compare them directly, I don't really remember all that well. So with this closed, for those of you that watched the B-roll, you notice I did have some custom glass, right? So I did have a custom graphic. I actually have 2 versions. This one is UV printed. This is actually a commissioned piece of artwork that I had done. She has a custom jacket that I wanted with my logo on it, and some details that walk into the theme of the whole ROG X MIKU thing, right? And I have another version, which was a direct-to-film transfer. This transfer came out in the wrong hue, but in a way that it fortunately made her hair match the case. So I'm kind of conflicted on which one I want to use, but we'll see. And for those of you curious, I will eventually turn that artwork into a full-blown 3D statue that's printable, and then we'll have that made in multiple sizes for my collection, pretty much. All right, so let's rotate to the front and I'll go into the build itself. So this is the I guess display area of the case, and we'll kind of go into it real quick. As you can see on the bottom, this does have the custom Miku HATSUNE graphic. That's obviously exclusive to this version of the case. Aside from that, you do have a 01, right, on this bracket here. For those of you that didn't know much about the Helios 1, this is actually a slidable cover that allows you to hide your wires, and it does slide out for better eATX support, and also has GPU support on it. Now, if you're wondering why is there a blank bracket here that says 01? Well, back in 2019, 20, when this case was released, there was something called the ROG Aura box, and that was kind of a RGB controller box that would fit right here. Obviously, with the increase in motherboard RGB headers, we kind of don't need those boxes for the most part anymore. So it's kind of just like a relic that stayed on the case. You can see the I/O has multiple graphics. It's similar to the Ryuo 4, displays everything statistical wise. You can split the screen just like you did in the Ryuo 4. And when we go over the software, I'm going to show you guys the different screens and the stuff you can put in here. But I have it cycling through all the different various backgrounds that you have for the Ryuo 4 Miku edition. And also, if you get the Chinese one, you're going to have even more. All right. Aside from that, quick details on the top of the Ryuo. Like I was saying earlier, the Miku does light up here, right? You can see that now it's lit up. These are all RGB. Okay. And for some of the just custom items that I've done in this build real quick is obviously I'm not using the stock cables, right? I mean, I'm using custom cables. In addition to that, you'll probably notice there's a screen on the side with some leaks on it. This screen is an 8-point-inch screen. I just have, Miku dancing in there just to kind of tie it in because, she's a dancer, right? So that's what's going on over there. And on the bottom, I just put another plate here with the Miku logo and a leak to kind of just cover up the gap that would exist here elsewise, because otherwise, if you don't have a full radiator here, you can have a gap here, and I didn't want that gap. It just didn't look attractive. So I covered it with that. Now, it's hard to see the motherboard details once you have everything in here, but if I slide it over, you might be able to see a little bit. Okay, not really. All right. But yes, so I have my hose to the rear. You might see a lot of installs where the hose is going to the front, but I had it to the rear simply because I didn't want it anything covering the screen over here. And on the back, I don't know how well this is going to come out. So on the back, I have a hologram fan. This fan is cycling through some of the Miku assets, the chibi assets that ROG had created for this launch. But yes, so that pretty much it's a really basic put together build. This is going to TwitchCon. For those of you that are going to TwitchCon, you will see this at TwitchCon. But I just want to add a little bit of my touches in there just to clean it up a little bit, have it a little bit different. And I didn't want to complicate it too much because at the end of the day, this is to help display the collection, right? Not how I can make this look so insanely different than what it's supposed to be. Okay. So with that said, let's move into the software where I'll show you guys the beginning. When you load up the BIOS, it looks different. And I'll quickly show you guys an armored crate and the info hub for the Ryuo 4. And then we'll take a look at the Chinese editions, and we'll break that down for you so you guys kind of understand the differences, and you'll kind of see that not everything you see online is exactly what's available in North America or globally for that matter. So with that said, let's get to the computer. So here we have the launch screen. All right, when the system booting up, you can tell it has a different splash. Instead of the traditional ROG, you're going to get the Miku HATSUNE logo. And if we come in the BIOS, since this is, I think only certain ROG line boards boot into advanced mode immediately. The Strix series does not, right? But you can see here on the background splash, we have the Miku logo, the little cute Miku chibi, and you can also see that the font itself is actually green rather than just the white. I think white red, right? So they've also themed the BIOS as well, right? You can see even things like the Q fan line for the CPU fan, all these things. And if we come into, let's say we go into advanced mode, you can see that the highlight is even blue, teal blue, rather than the traditional, I think red. Yeah. So there's some nice touches here, right? I can appreciate the bottom they have at the ROG X MIKU. So with that said, let's quickly exit the BIOS. I just want to show you guys just quick. And let's see, you know what? Let's hit insert, see if this is right. No, the Q dashboard unfortunately does not look any different. But yes, so the BIOS does look different, which is a nice touch. And let's just come out and actually I'll save it and we'll go into the system itself. I have this is the official Miku wallpaper. You can get it from the ROG site if you want. So that's where you can. So it's not something I created. It's something that's available on the ROG website under wallpapers. But if you open GPU Tweak, I'm hoping you'll have it. Okay, it doesn't have it yet. It says HATSUNE Miku. That's surprising. Well, normally, if you have, like a special edition, this would change a little bit. Like the gold one, right? You get a little design here. The Doom one, you get a little design here. I guess that's not the case as of now, but that may change in the future. Like I said, I have, like, this GPU is out in China. The China one with the ROG one, with ROG on it is easily available, but the global one is not. Okay, so if I also wanted to mention that the Info Hub, for those of you not aware, Info Hub is the one that you use for the Ryuo 4s. This Info Hub for the Miku is for the Miku alone. The regular Ryuo 4 one will not work with it. And this is not, I don't think this is finalized software because I had to get this from the product manager, not actually, available on the website, even in Taiwan. But you can see in the screen settings, this is all themed to match rather than the traditional gray and silver and red we have with the regular Ryuo 4. Now, if we come to screen settings, we have the custom Miku here. And this is what you're seeing on the AIO when the B-roll comes by. I think you have a couple other ones where she slides in like this. All right. And you have another one where she blows up with the mini ones. This is cool. And you have ones like this. This is what you get. You see this right here? This is what you get when you don't have anything displayed. So when you power the system on, or when the screen is just on with the system off, you'll get something like this, right, without the stats on it. And that's the default display. Okay, so everything here should be really similar to the Ryuo 4. You know what? I had this one on all the B-rolls, but actually I think I like this one a little bit more. I mean, obviously, like before, you can record your own, right? Like I showed you guys in the Ryuo 4 video if you want to watch that. And, you know, you can cycle between these, right? By default, it's going to loop on one. But you know what? Let's just have them. Is this loop? You know, let's just have it do random. I think that'll be cool. And I'll leave it on random. So like, I was going to bring it up when we get to the case. But for those of you, like I said earlier, if you're going to TwitchCon, you will be able to see this build there. And this is just quickly showing you guys the screen options for the Ryuo 4. The motherboard obviously doesn't have any screen options. It has no screen. And GPU tweak, I'm guessing eventually might get something custom. Obviously, it does recognize that, if I open it again, it does recognize it as a Miku HATSUNE edition. Right. So something may come, but it might just be a little too early. Right. But of course, as with all Astrals, you get the 12-pin monitoring. I've said this many times. Like, this has actually saved me from stock PSU cables that had issues, which was shocking, to be honest. But yeah, so that pretty much wraps up this part. Before we move on to the Chinese version of the ROG collab that I wanted to show you guys on the Chinese website, there is something in Armor Crate. So if you come into devices and you go into the board, you're going to see this, right? She's going to be here too, rather than just, you know, blank. Essentially just black, right, is what you get normally. So there are these small touches everywhere. It's super nice that they added this to Armor Crate. These small attention details, very appreciated. Obviously, anytime we do theming, we want to do good themes. So with that said, let's take a look at the Chinese variant. Now let's quickly go over the Asus China versions of these things. There's actually two lines in China, not just the ROG line. There's also a TX Miku. TX Gaming, for those of you not aware, is China's equivalent of Tough Gaming. All right. The Tough Gaming brand doesn't technically exist in China, although you can buy things like the GT502 with the Tough variant on it. Okay. But you can see that this is the TX Gaming idol, waifu, whatever you want to call it. She's going to be on all the TX Gaming products, right? And they're going to be themed towards her. And there is a line where she is themed along with Miku as well. You can see, for example, here's a router, right? You can see also that Miku looks different here, right? They have a different styled Miku for this TX Gaming line, okay? And you can see she's going to be here dressed differently as well. She's going to be here with TX. And there's a whole keyboard as well. So it's not like the Tough that was in the United States where you just had a headset, a mouse, and a keyboard. This is a little bit different. There's actually more to that, okay? So let's go back to the ROG line. All right, China actually has a lot of stuff. It's amazing how much China has. Okay, so back to the ROG line. This, as I was saying throughout the entire video, this is ROG. Okay, she is the Asus ROG waifu, essentially. She's kind of a VTuber too, as in there's live streams with someone pretending to be her, you know, like a VTuber style, doing live streams. And she has a counterpart, which is like a kind of a white bluish version, which you'll see on the the Strix line stuff, right? Not so much the ROG line stuff, but you can see her name is actually a play off of the ROG, right? So she appears on some of the Strix line, but you will not find this white version on the ROG line, right? So on the ROG line with Miku, you'll notice that we're going to have different things on every single part. You'll notice on the case, she's on the side of the case, right? Unlike the version we have where we do not have her included, okay? On the GPU, she's actually going to be on the back. If that will load, like I was showing images earlier. She's on the back as well. Let's see if we can bring up. It's a little laggy, guys. Chinese website. But is there a backplate photo? well, that's not a good back wheel, but you can see here she's actually on the back instead of where the HATSUNE Miku would be in text form. She's on the back. Okay, and additionally they have other stuff. The motherboard, you can see here, she's also here. It's not just Miku by herself, and she's also on the NVMe, right? And for those of you curious about the pricing, this is about divide by 7 is what you're gonna get for US price. All right, so this was probably gonna be like 300 something, right? And this is gonna come out about $2,000. All right, a little more than $2,000. So it's actually more expensive than the United States. All right. So for those of you who think that electronics are cheaper in Asia, not always. Right. This is actually going to be a little cheaper, I think. All right, 32 divided by 7. So this is a little cheaper than what we're paying here. The motherboard's a little cheaper, but the GPU costs more, and the case is getting more. From what I think the case is 420 in the United States. So the case is actually a little bit cheaper in China. The GPU costs more in China, and current exchange pricing, and the motherboard costs less. The AIO is, I think, cheaper in China as well, because this is about, this is going to be $300, $350, something like that. All right. I mean, these are the Asus official retail price, but I can tell you, as someone who have most of these from Asus China, I can tell you that it's a little cheaper than this. It's probably around $350 USD. Okay, and you can see that she's on the AIO screen as well. So not only is she on the side, you get custom assets with her on it. So this is what I'm talking about, right? She's on the PSU. Actually, the PSU I have has her as well, because mine came from Taipei, and it might be from, I don't know why, but she's on my PSU, the one I have from Asus Taiwan. And obviously the monitor is going to be the same. I think, oh no, she's on the bottom of the monitor too. And this is exclusive to China. This router we do not get. And this router is actually pretty cool. If I open it to it, you'll see on this router, we do have this router, but we don't have the Miku variant. And on this router, you'll notice that on one side it has the Miku logo along with ROG, and the front you have both of them. And the really cool thing is on the side, you have swappable plates, right? So you get a Miku, you get a ROG, whatever you want. And it's got this really clear look to it. This is really cool. It's unfortunate we didn't get it here. But moving on, this we did get. And you can see here's some other stuff, right? We have the little, I think this doll, if I'm not wrong, this product here, we didn't get. This product here is going to be an pre-order exclusive for some of the ROG parts. I don't know which ones, because they haven't said that out yet, but I do believe they're running a campaign where if you pre-order some of the stuff, you're going to get this little chibi character. And then this is only like, what, $20, all right? So, and then we have, I'm guessing just was that a macro keyboard, some type of Elgato device. I'm not too familiar with these things. And then you have a little keychain, and you have a luggage, right? You have a carry-on luggage. This is something we also did not get, right? This is the ROG version, right? It's not the Miku variant, but there's a Miku variant, which I think I clicked on, and this is super cool, right? I mean, it's not really for a grown man. I mean, it's up to you, but not really something I would tote around. But it's a nice thing to keep your packaging in, maybe. And this thing is super cheap. So it's like, what is that? So that's divided by, that's like it's like $150. It's like super cheap, right? For what it is. And this is the kind of stuff that we didn't get. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if you guys want some of that stuff, you got to make it known to North America that, Asus, that we're willing to, kind of have our own stuff. We're willing to kind of pay for it. That's the most worth thing, pay for it. Because China is totally different. Like, they have, the market's large there. They have a lot of creative latitude. While, here we're a little more stuck with whatever Asus HQ Taiwan kind of wants to send over, right? So with that said, just wrapping up the video here, I hope this help you guys understand the difference between different product lines from what you see online, and I hope it gave you a good overview of all the products that is being offered in this collection. Obviously, there might be some small details I missed. Frankly, there's just too many things to cover in one video. But for those of you that are interested in buying this kit, I hope this has helped. Like I said, it's definitely for the fans, especially when they're talking about the GPU, which is going to be expensive for 5080. But nonetheless, personally, if you like it, you like it. You know, don't care about what other people say when it comes to things. Some people are not going to agree with the pricing, and it is what it is. But that's life, right? So there are people that pay. Let's keep in mind, for those of you guys who come in the comments, I can already see it, you know, blasting the pricing. There are people that pay hundreds to thousands of dollars for a resin Miku statue. So keep that in mind. Okay? So with that said, thanks for watching. Stay safe and take care.